Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive with myself, Erin Chandler. For those of you that are new here, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. So I have some messages regarding the last piece of healing, because there's this dynamic or a limited perception is what I'm hearing. This message has come through actually for a long time. You guys may notice on this channel, I actually sit with messages for quite some time before I relay them. It is very rare that I will just jump on and share a message. The reason for this is twofold. One, I like to be very clear in the messaging because there's so many dynamics happening, and we've got people's higher selves talking, we've got people's guides talking, I've got my own journey, I've got the people I'm serving in private intuitive sessions and communities. There's just a lot. So I like to be very clear and concise in the messaging. For me, if messages show up repeatedly, that is always a clear indicator for me. In addition, the second fold reason for this is a lot of times when I receive a message, it's not just for one person. It's multifaceted. So there will be different aspects or different perceptions or different dimensional views that will be related to the messages that I'm receiving. So it's not about, oh, this person did this and this is how they feel, or this is how you feel and it's because of this. It's a full spectrum, and that's how I like to operate. That's my natural energy, to be able to look at the bigger picture and all the different facets. So that's the second reason why I don't just randomly jump on and share a message, because there's multiple there's layers is what I'm hearing. There's multi-dimensional layers that go into the aspects of this. I don't just want what your spirit guides are saying. I also need to get what your higher self has experienced. What's the underlying conditions? What's the circumstances you're in? What's the deeper esoteric meaning? And what's the higher guidance above all? So it's like putting them all together. And I love that. It makes me excited. That's how I operate. It's never just about one thing. There's always a multitude of things included in that. So the message that keeps coming through is about the last part of healing. I'm seeing whales. To hear the song of the whale is such a peaceful, soothing, great. It's always a beautiful omen, and signs everywhere, signs. So the last part of healing, the messaging that came through with this was gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked. Somebody's gobsmacked at something. I'm not sure what that is, but take it if it resonates. If that's for you, just know that that was heard, seen, and felt. But anyways, we're going to talk about the last part of healing here, because you may be shocked by this. This may activate something in you. This may help you to understand something that you were already coming to, that you hadn't quite rooted in, or it hadn't quite sunk in. It's like the water of the healing hasn't quite hit the tips of your roots is what I'm seeing. So they're showing me you like a flower, and you've got the roots growing down, and they're very deep roots and they're very wide, and water is being poured down from you, from the divine, from above, clearing energy. Persephone always comes through with that. It's almost like the water is being poured through you, through divinity. It's the healing, it's the self-work, it's the self-inquiry. It's all the wonderful, magical things that you have done as it's permeated your entire vessel. The water hasn't quite dripped down to the roots. And I know normally we say that the roots are the foundation, but I'm being shown the mirrors, as above, so below. But it's also as below, so above. So it's like the mirrored reflection of not just as above, so below. There's another aspect to that, or a dimensional perspective that isn't always attuned to. So they're showing me that the root, the water, the clearing, cleansing, purifying water, and all the work you've done and all the healing, and whoever this message is for, you have come a long way. Pat on the back. I'm seeing pat on the back. The water, the purifying, cleansing, and healing water, it's come down through the flower head. It's come down through your stem. The water drops are lusciously sitting on top of your leaves, and it's hit the ground around you, and it's soaked into some of the dirt. And because you have such deep roots, that purifying water has come down the roots, but it hasn't quite hit the tips of your roots, which is completion, culmination, fully enveloped, fully purified. And this metaphor or imagery that I'm being given is very important. I have Archangel Michael here, and Archangel Ariel. These angels are specific to you. You'll know if this message is for you. They're showing up because they have been with you since childhood. Specifically, Archangel Michael. I'm seeing like sword of truth, shields of protection, blue crosses all the way around you, whether you know this or not. I've always been there is what I'm hearing. I have always been there. That's a specific message for you. Either a confirmation, like this is a knowing you've had, like yes, they're very clear. I have always been there, whether you've known it or not. So take that as it resonates. You'll know if you're deeply connected to Archangel Michael. But the reason why this metaphor is so important and profound, whatever was lost in the wounding, whatever happened that made you feel lack and limitation and unlove, betrayal, everything that felt like it was lost or damaged or dimmed or broken, I'm literally seeing Archangel Michael stand here. I'm getting 1111 is the number for this as an angel number coming in, as well as 444, which is always angelical. They're very clear that whatever the wounding was, I was there. This is what this angelical being is saying is, I was there. No one can hurt you. You've gone through an experience, not because you were broken and hurt or damaged or limited or unloved or unworthy. I was there. I was there the whole time. You have always been being guarded. You have always been being protected. You have always been being loved. You have always been swimming in truth. It was just not necessarily the truth you wanted to see, I'm hearing at the time, and that's okay. Pollyanna's coming in with that. That's not a bad thing. You are loved. That's the song coming in. Archangel Michael is very strong, very, very clear. And I feel like for somebody on here, you went through the battle of your life, it feels like. It's like the darkest of the dark. Archangel Michael is standing with a sword like this, firmly planted. I was there with you too. This is a message for a masculine. You know this. You know that they were there with you. It's like, I don't even need to confirm it for you, but they're being told it's important that I share this. It is an external validation of the internal knowing and understanding. That is the purpose of external signs, guidance from spirit, and the external world around us that can be used for those purposes. People are oracles for you. Everything in the physical 3D world can be used to amplify the confirmations for you of what you already know internally. Like, this person's not going anywhere. I want to be clear. There are individuals who are embodied on this earth plane, spirit embodied, that actually have that energy written into them. They're naturally protectors. They naturally create a space around those that are weaker or those that need help. They are naturally those that speak truth. They have really intense courage, but I'm being shown very clearly, like, that energy, I'm being told to share this, that energy of the angelical realms, and specifically Archangel Michael, is immovable. It is unshakable. Like, I'm hearing, I'm not going anywhere. That's the energy of it. So this is for a masculine. It's for both masculines and feminines. So take it as it resonates. Sometimes it switches off, but because there's multiple people watching this channel, this is about the last step of your healing, the last part of your healing. Some of you feel like, and this is why he's here to let you know he's always been here, nudging, pushing, just like lighting a little fire is what it feels like, but it's not even a fire. It's the blue flame, which is cleansing and purifying. Everybody attunes to it differently. For me, it's absolute divine power. Please Google it, look it up, be mindful. The plants are moving, apparently. Did you see that? So it's almost like the blue flame really clears and cleanses out the energy. I look at it as one infinite creator, blue ray, which is the one singular, one infinite creator, ray of creation. And creation is thought forms and energy, so it can clear away anything. It can remove manipulations. That's why the sword of truth often is referenced as blue. That's why blue crosses. There's a lot of blue reference with Archangel Michael. The reason why this is important, and I'm hearing setup. Somebody needs to know there was something that was a setup. To be clear, that's a side message that somebody wants to have come through here. That's fine. Your message has been delivered. We're now going to roll with Archangel Michael. Thank you, Erin. You're welcome. So we want to look at this as the aspect of the last piece of your healing. This message is specifically for somebody. They're telling me you have done so much self-work. You have done so many things to heighten your frequency. You are not afraid of the dark. You are not afraid to go down into the depths of your ocean. You have literally swam with the sharks and held your ground, whether you know it or not. I'm hearing this statement, God only gives you what you can handle. Whoever this message is for, you have been in places where it's like, I definitely can't handle this. I'm hearing your higher self saying, nope, this is a little bit too much. Somebody else needs to take one for the team, because this is one thing after the other, and I cannot handle this. And they're saying, no, we've all been standing here. You're not being given more than you can handle. It feels like that in the moments because you haven't come through it yet. But the understanding is you are going through it because you are guarded, because you have people watching over you, protectors, spirit protectors. These are deities. And this is somebody who's got deities from multiple races, cultures, and belief systems. This is a message for somebody who resonates with a lot of different things, even if parts of the belief systems clash. That's what I'm being told. The 13th house of unity, 13th house. You're from the 13th house, very, very clearly. The last stage of your healing. Can we please get to this message? That's what I feel like. They're going on and on with all these different things. And they're saying, yes, the message was a setup for somebody else. There's a setup happening, but there's also this piece. We're setting the energy. We're opening it. We're laying the foundations for this piece of wisdom I'm hearing to come through. So the last part of your healing has nothing to do with you being whole, healed, in your right frequency, on your path. None of those things. We have this idea in the manifestation world that I cannot have what I want unless I'm totally healed and perfect and in my power and doing my thing. Only then can I have the thing that I'm asking for. And the reason it hasn't showed up is because I haven't done the healing, and I have to do more healing, and I have to do this and I have to do that. And while that story may be true at different parts along the way, I think in this case, this is not the case. So in this case, what's actually coming in is the last part of your healing actually happens when the opposite thing shows up. So let's say, can we have an example? Ariel, she's going to give us an example. Let's say you have spent your time looking for love and you keep repeatedly being presented with the same individuals, with the same issues, doing the same things. Codependency is a great example. So you may find that it's just one person after the other of people showing up who have codependent tendencies, who very clearly haven't done enough work to be able to expand and grow with you in the way that you desire or what you're looking for, is what I'm hearing. The last part of your healing, this is not about you doing it wrong, not having healed enough, that your energy is magnetizing all these dense energies and things from your past. While for some of you that is true, for the message who this is for, that is not the case. It is not about you not having healed. It is not about you not having done the work. It is not that your frequency is drawing that to you. There's something else happening here, and I'm getting a giant bullseye in the room. The something else that's happening here is your last part of healing happens by repeatedly saying no, but that's not the last part. That's like the process. You're repeatedly saying no to that which is not aligned with you or where you have been or the work that you have done. It's actually the last part of your healing where you become whole, is when someone who is the complete opposite enters your world. Somebody, if you have lived with people who are filled with shaming and guilt, your healing happens when the person arrives that does not do that at all. That's not even part of how they operate in the world or in relationships. The last part of your healing doesn't happen when you're all fixed and whole and done your work and all these things. It happens when the opposite thing shows up. If all you've experienced is hate, the last part of healing happens when love actually shows up. If you have been in an experience where everybody doesn't see you, the last part of your healing, you're not going to be whole until you experience the person who's seen you fully. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's this idea that we have to be whole and fixed and in this frequency, and only then we can have what we want. And Spirit's like, that's not the case. You can always have what you want. And in fact, for some of you, the last part of healing is actually having that experience. And you thinking that you have to be whole and doing it yourself is actually the thing that's blocking it. It's not that you haven't done your work and you're magnetizing it. It's that you have to let go of the idea that I have to be perfect. I have to be healed. I'm also hearing another message for somebody in regards to this. The last part of your healing is realizing that you have set such clear boundaries. You don't have to worry about people crossing them, not because people won't attempt to cross them, but rather they're saying you have to trust and understand that you've come far enough that anytime somebody attempts to cross that boundary, you've established enough of a foundation to easily say, no, that's crossing my boundary, and moving in a different direction. You don't have to be afraid of the past repeating itself. You should be, I'm hearing that's about fear, right? It's not recognizing your power that, yes, you've set boundaries, but it's almost like somebody's afraid to step forwards because you haven't quite fully trusted that the boundaries that you are very good at setting now is sufficient. You never have to worry about people crossing your boundaries because you've created the boundary. We only worry about people crossing our boundaries when we don't have firm boundaries in place, or we don't feel strengthened in that. I can't go there because I feel like my boundaries will be crossed. Meanwhile, Spirit's like, whoa. You have created strong boundaries, so don't worry about it. If anybody attempts to, it doesn't really matter because you're the one creating the boundaries. I'm being told this is a very specific message for somebody on here. It's time to play. It's time to jump into your opportunities. It's time to feel the fear and do it anyways. That's what I'm hearing. Feel the fear and do it anyways. It's time to wander into the waters or the lake or the oceans that you have not quite seen yet. There's somebody on here, you know, the planes where you learn to fly on. So you're not flying a Boeing 747, but it's like the test planes where there may be one or two people, and that's where you learn to actually fly. I'm getting that image for somebody, and it's flying over new lakes and new oceans. It's going through new terrain. This is the time. Somebody on here, your last part of healing does not happen in the hermit mode. It actually happens when you realize you're stronger, you've cultivated those things, and you're in control of the boundaries, not the other people who are trying to step over boundaries. This is a very clear message. I'm hoping it's resonating with you. Let me know in the comments if that's something that's ding, ding, ding. I'm seeing a giant bullseye in the room. I have one of my guides, let me tell you, keep going, because you got to have faith. The faith, you need to trust in yourself. Not trust that other people are good. You need to trust in yourself that you are good, and you have discernment to decide whether somebody is for you or against you, whether you need to actually be fearful of somebody, or it's just you not trusting the fact that you have clear and strong boundaries and know exactly what you do and don't want. It's about you. Come back to you. The last piece of your healing is not in the hermit mode. It's not in the continually diving into the dark or doing those things. The last piece of your healing is actually over here where you jump out into the world. Surprise! Where you jump out into the world and you get to be surprised, because in those new experiences, that's actually where you find the exact opposite of what your life story has been. And that ends up being the last piece of your healing. Not because you haven't done the work, but because for somebody on here, all you know is this. This has been your whole experience. The only way you will feel whole in yourself is having the exact opposite experience. So think about it. When we experience hate, we know what love is. When we know what love is, we also know what hate is. When we know what the sunshine in the day is, we know what the night and the dark is. If there is no opposition of the spectrums, how do you even identify what is what? How do you differentiate? It's like I'm seeing I'm seeing a diamond shape through the sacred geometry. So it's kind of like we come up from the one infinite creator and we split down here into this separation. And then we come back to unity down here. They're showing me it in a diamond like this, right? As above, so below. And here's the in-between in the duality of what we're living in and the experiences we've had. So if this duality exists, law of polarity, universal law, then this one exists as well. We are not meant to stay in one unless we choose to. But whoever this message is for, you're doing the work so you can experience the other polarity, because that's your natural state, is this other polarity. You've just been in this side of the duality for a very long time. I'm hearing it's time to step out. I'm seeing these golden doors open, and I'm seeing the golden palace card. It's time for you to step out into the world. It's time for you to trust that you have everything you need, that you have been working really, really hard. And it's time for you to now understand that you can move about in the world without those fears. fears, without those things holding you back, without those ideations or concepts of somebody might infringe on my boundaries, well, that's not a thing because you're the one creating the boundaries. Do you see how it's actually about you? I'm seeing cats as a reference to that. The cat, what does the cat do? The cat represents a very healthy interdependent relationship. Yes, I want to be loved here, and in this moment here, I need my own space. I need my own time. No, I don't. No, that doesn't mean I don't love you. It means I need this right now. It's a healthy interdependence of being able to have a co-creative dynamic with somebody, but also having your own space and your own you and being whole in yourself. So the last part of your healing is what I'm hearing is not about doing this work that you've been doing for years, I'm hearing, actually about stepping out into the world and recognizing, I'm hearing you have everything you need. You have everything you need. Just jump. Just jump. That's all you got to do. Feel the fear and do it anyways, right? There's all kinds of different fear mantras. Please Google it, look it up, quotes about beating fear, understanding fear, all the different acronyms for fear that people have gleaned and cultivated. There's so many ways to look at it. Fear is just not a thing when you realize that you're the creator of the boundaries. If you're the creator of the boundaries and you're the decider of your life, you also get to decide whether fear is going to take the front seat or the back seat. You get to decide whether fear gets to get out of the car as well. There's that aspect too. There's just so many ways to describe it, friends. Anyways, I'm being told to tell you the last part of your healing is not in this hermit state or doing the work or worrying, it's actually over here when you're stepping out into the world and get to engage with other people. The last part of your healing where you actually will feel whole and understand that you are whole intrinsically is when you experience the exact opposite or the exact thing externally that you have been trying so hard to cultivate internally. Because it's not that you haven't done that. It's that you were meant to be here with other people and have reciprocity and support of that which you have been working towards and that which you inherently know on your soul level. So, last part of your healing, Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel at prayer. Thank you. This is an important message for somebody on here. Open the golden doors, walk through, see with the eyes of wonder, understand that you are safe. What was lost in the wounding, I'm seeing Archangel Michael hold up a bag. As soon as I said what is lost in the wounding, he's holding up a bag. Here it is. We're going to give it to you. Here's your bag of all you lost in the wounding. So now you can go out and create and have wonder and feel safe. Feel safe in the world because you feel safe in yourself. Understand that people aren't going to roll over your nose. And you don't have to worry that they will, because sometimes that comes through as a projected trauma too, I'm being told. I really feel like it just comes down to, yes, let me tell you, this transmission is complete. It's what I am hearing. Love, your last part of your healing happens when you experience the direct opposite thing. You're not doing it wrong. You have done your work, for lack of a better term or a better way to describe it, but it's just because this is somebody who is really about, you've really cultivated and done a lot of work on yourself to try and expand yourself and heal things. So they're just very clear that this last piece here that you've been looking for and thinking you're doing it on your own actually happens with other people. So I trust this message resonated. Let me know. I didn't know we were going to go through the angelical realms, Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel. I did not know we were going to be talking about boundaries. I just knew the message was last stage of healing. So back to the beginning of the channel where I said I like to sit with it for a few days. Here's where this is interesting. Little nuggets of what just came out are actually things that have been channeled through separate channels, but they all go together. They're all interconnected. This last part of the healing bit has actually been coming through for a couple of months, and it's randomly come out in private sessions for those who needed it or if it was part of their guidance. But so is the cats and the healthy boundaries. I'm being told the cat is a very specific reference. You will know if that's for you. You've either been seeing cats. I'm hearing the song, all my ladies who truly feel me, throw your hands up at me. That's the independent woman song, I guess you could say. When you honor and cherish your independence, but also allow for an interdependence of a give and a take and a reciprocity, being held and supported in that aspect as well, being open to that, it creates this absolute, beautiful, healthy interdependent. Everyone gets what they need while not giving away themselves, is what I wish to say. And I'm being told, last message, when you realize you don't have to give away yourself to get what you need, that's when you hit your next level and you receive that last piece of your healing through other people. That's a very important message for somebody on here regarding boundaries and your journey. As always, beautiful souls, if you wish to connect with me, please find me on my website. It is linked in the video description box below. You can do private sessions, intuitive guidance, and mediumship readings. You can do quantum clearings. Right now, we're having our 21-day spiritual expansion. It is an online course, which is epic. A lot of great reviews and feedback of life-changing experiences that people are having in that expansion. So please feel free to join us if you feel called to that. In addition, shortly, we will be rolling out all of the intuitive courses. There are over 100 classes, so please feel free to subscribe our email list. And as always, I'm wishing you all much love, light, peace, healing, and transcendence. Until next time, beautiful souls.